I've been really struggling with just like my mind feeling like a racehorse. That's what my mind feels like. God, I'm feeling really tired today. Oh, I really don't want to go to work tomorrow or on Friday. I'm really looking forward to the weekend though. Da 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 da. Oh, so many thoughts. Hi guys, what's going on? For those of you who are new here, I'm Dawn and I'm a junior doctor working in the south coast of England. Today's vlog is about overcoming overthinking. This is something I've personally been afflicted with recently. Does this seem like you? Because if it does, then this is the video for you. Today I'm going to be going through 5 tips on how you can reduce your overthinking and your racing thoughts, or your grasshopper mind, or your monkey mind, whatever you want to call it, they all apply. So guys, my first tip is just recognizing that it's happening. We can constantly just get in this like cycle of racing thoughts and get really carried away with it, and we just find, well, personally, I find myself just jumping from thing to thing to thing. I don't know where I'm going next. I feel really anxious and I'm just all over the place. I guess there are a few ways to spot it in yourself, and you need to learn what your ones are. So my ones personally, and I think a lot of people do get this, is like physical symptoms. So I will get sort of like tight chested, or I'll get like this really weird achy chest feeling. And I think like I know that is me just being like, ah, hear the roar. My mind and body don't really like get together that often, so I have to kind of figure it out myself and be like, okay, this is my symptom, I know that something's going on. There are also other like bad habits that people do. So some people bite their nails, some people bite their lip. I've noticed that I like tap my finger on stuff. Some people will get headaches, some people get palpitations, some people will get sweaty. Some people will just feel like they want to cry, and that's okay. But you just need to recognise with the fact that your mind is on overdrive. I think a lot of people are like me and they get these like physical symptoms of maybe anxiety or whatever, but they don't kind of link that up with the fact that they're anxious. And that's because our mind and body are just like, yeah, I'm okay, and like, sometimes there are certain triggers, and I think there are definitely things that make it worse for me. And the main one for me is coffee. I love coffee, and I limit myself to 1 a day because I just bounce off the walls and I get super anxious if I have more than one. I mean, a lot of people don't realise that something is a trigger because it's just so normal for them. The problem is when you actually sit back and take a look at your life and you go, oh, okay, like, and sometimes it takes somebody else. So I've had loads of people on GP come to me as a doctor and be like, I'm getting this symptom, headaches usually. And you go, okay, what's obviously you've ruled out organic causes, but what is going on in your life? And then they come up with this like mountain of things. And then you're like, have you ever stopped to think that you're actually doing loads? Oh no, I forgot. There's another one, tired all the time. That's really common. I'm really tired. Okay, so we've gone through just recognising that you're overthinking and recognising the signs in yourself. Next, number 2, we're going to move on to expressing how you're feeling. And I think as a doctor, working with other doctors is quite easy and nice to open up to other doctors because they get where you're coming from. They're like, oh yeah, damn girl, I'm also quite tired and I'm just not feeling it today. And one prime example of this is Anne Frank's diary. Guys, she was in a shit situation and she opened up to her good friend Kitty, who got her through. My third tip is mindfulness techniques. Guys, I don't know if you've missed this like craze over the last 5 years or whatever, but basically there are loads of ways to be mindful. So a lot of the time people think that they need to be sitting down and like meditating, like, but no, you don't need to be. Sometimes you can just do mindful activities. So for me, a mindful activity is reading. Another mindful activity, exercising, gardening, walking the dogs. There's so many things. It's just where you are literally just thinking about either that one thing, like just reading or just gardening, or nothing. Of course, you can do those sitting down ones where, you do a meditating session. And I think the focus is to literally just watch your thoughts. Just watch them or listen to them. But I kind of see it as watching because it's like you're sort of sitting back and you're watching someone else just do the thinking. I think it's only really then when you turn off all the external noise that you realise how much is going on in there. And once you slow everything else down and remove it all from the situation, you're like, God damn, I need to slow down. And I find myself sometimes when I'm doing like mindfulness or whatever, I have these like fleeting thoughts and I want to just jump up and do it. And I'm like, no, must stay still. And I find it really hard. Another problem that I also have is that my mindfulness is in Spanish. So, I mean, it makes me listen harder. Doesn't mean I understand it all though. But, I think just figure out what makes you mindful. And there are loads of apps out there. Currently, I use Calm. But there's like Headspace. You can use YouTube for free. Obviously, there are loads of books. But yeah, like I said earlier, this can be really hard in hospital because there's literally so many things going on. You've got a bleep and there's just so much noise everywhere. And I don't want to go into the like chapel area because, I don't know, they say you won't be disturbed and I'm not worried about that. But like, I don't know. I just don't want to sit in like a public room, like not doing anything. I don't know. That's just me. If they had some private rooms, I'd probably do it. Okay, there are 2 methods I use to try and reduce my overthinking, and I will show you one of them right here. This is something I really love to do. I love writing down what I'm thinking about. So I've split my life here into 4 sections. One is blog, podcast. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to start a new podcast and it's called If Hospital Walls Could Talk. YouTube and life. Because yes, unfortunately, this still exists. I just find it really great to just brainstorm all of my ideas on here and just be like, just get them out of my head. It's really cathartic. Once I've got them out of my head, and you don't have to do it on a whiteboard, I just like it because when I've done it, I can just, have I done that? Oh, I'm doing this one right now, so I'm just gonna rub it off. There you go. And then it's gone. Some people might like actually seeing the sort of physical progress. So this is a diary that I had, and it's called Clever Fox Diary. Now, personally, I mean, I love it. I just don't want to like carry something around with me. And if I'm honest, I haven't really used it that much because I got really into it and it is beautiful. I mean, I haven't used it since September 2019, so that's saying something, isn't it? No, it is lovely. I don't think I'm that artistic, like drawing wise. Like, look how boring that is. So, the next thing I like to do is split the... Oh, I thought that would look cooler. There we go. I basically split a A4 sheet of paper into 4. And I call this my prioritized table. You basically say what is urgent, what is not urgent, and then what is important and what is not important. If something is not urgent and not important, then you probably don't need to do it. Now, you can use this in multiple different ways. And I think I was quite stressed when I did this like drawing bit, which was yesterday, and I remember thinking after, like, oh my god, I don't have anything that is urgent and important. Like, why am I panicking about all of this stuff? Like, no one's gonna die. Honestly, guys, writing down lists and making a priority table is just so important, like so helpful. It just gets it all off your mind. And like just feels like you're offloading it. A bit like when you talk to somebody about it. Or journal. Okay, last tip here. So this one is about the 4 Ds, but it's a number 5 tip. 4 Ds, but number 5. So the 4 Ds stand for delete, defer, delegate, do. So basically, if something is in your not important and not urgent box, then you can basically just delete it. Like, you don't need to do everything that you think you need to do. Defer is basically like, can it wait? Do you need to do it now? You've got other more important things on your plate. Just leave it until tomorrow or later this evening or next week or never. delegate. Now guys, this is something I've really gotten into recently, and it's quite funny because someone else will be editing this vlog for me. So what I've done is I've basically outsourced a few of my things. The main one being video editing. I am quite happy to just pay other people to do it. And the last one is just get the urgent and the anxiety provoking task done and out the way. And then you'll be like, oh. I also want to include here quickly a graph, the stress curve, guys. Honestly, I look back now on medical school and I'm like, we had so much like psychological training. I feel like not many other medical schools got this, but from like day one they were like, guys, you gonna be stressed. So yeah, constant reflections, constant essays. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, I've only ever been to one med school, obviously. Basically, if you're not stressed enough, you're basically like too chilled that you don't do anything. And that happens definitely. You see that in hospital, and I get that myself. I'm just like, Seebs, because like, if you have nothing to do, like you don't want to just do one thing. I think then having like a steady amount of busy is like optimum stress. And then you get to like overload where you're like, oh, I'm starting to like, you know, flag a little bit now. And then you get to where I feel right now, a little bit burnt out. Yes. Because I have all of these things going on, and I haven't actually included like garden, dogs, you know, just like social life and being a human, life admin and stuff. So yeah, my next video will probably be on burnout. So if you want to know what burnout is, and I think you do, then please stick around for the next one, because that'll be real exciting. I think every doctor / medical student / somebody, you know, who has a busy job with emotional trauma should learn about burnout. So definitely stick around for that next one. I hope this video was useful for you guys, and if it was, please give it a like, comment and subscribe, because I'd love to hear from you. Like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and I really hope that your mind becomes nice and chilled like the Ganges rivers, although the Ganges rivers is one of the most polluted rivers in the world, so probably not. Maybe like a beautiful white sand Caribbean beach water. I'll see you in the next